Recording, arm it, Josiah.
Mine's already going.
Okay, mine is armed.
It's that time again. It's the Burky and the Badger Board Game Babble Show. It's going to get wild. It's going to get wacky. It might even get a little zany. We're going to talk about board games and the board game industry. And, we might talk about anything else we want to talk about.
Yeah!
Woohoo! There I am.
Woo-hoo! Hey, we're live with the Burky and Badger Board Game Babble Show.
Hello,
And
everybody!
Here's my wonderful friend, Barry Babbles a lot.
And that's my friend Kevin Boxfartsmeier.
Oh, Boxfartsmeier. No, we have the original Bob Boxfart on the show today. It's actually my son, Josiah Burkhardsmeier. Welcome to the show, Josiah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's
Thank
a
you.
pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. My blue suede shoes. Thank you.
Oh, we should have done that again. I didn't have it ready. We could have done the old...
There it is.
Yeah, there
Hey, what you been up to, Barry?
Me? Ooh, not much. I've been teaching lots of games as usual, but in a different sense. We've been starting our Waka Waka parties, which is,
Waka.
as I mentioned a while ago, is like Tupperware, where you go around to people's houses with a kit of games and stuff, and you demonstrate them and you sell them in-house. So, like, here's some of the pages. I don't know if you can see it, but it's in French, and hopefully the high quality of the streaming should be good. So as you can see, there's
Saboteur.
Yep. So they do some really simple kind of Habba stuff. So here's a Habba page with some Habba games for the young children. There's also like the wooden blocks and bits and pieces, but they also do go up to King of Tokyo and 8-Minute Empire, Cro-Magnon. What else we got here? We got the Magic Labyrinth. And I've just heard that they're introducing New York 1901. That's coming.
Oh, wow.
They got contacts with Blue Orange, and probably the best page here is with Splendor, Colt Express, Pandemic, Island Turley, Forbidden Island. I have to translate that. Dixit, which I don't need to translate. Miniville, which is Machakuro.
So if you sell these games, and you get a little bit of a commission for selling them or something?
Yeah, that's the idea. And who better to sell games than someone who who loves talking about games?
Hey, I want to do this.
Yeah,
I can make a fortune. I can
Be
sell
good.
games like business.
And then they have coloring pens and coloring sets, and you can color with glitter and painting and bits and pieces like that. And there's 3D mammoth you can make. So it's not purely board games, but it's things to do with the family, which I think is a fantastic thing. To get that kind of old-style family atmosphere that you used to have at home, instead of one person watching CSI on telly, one person on their tablet talking to their friends on Facebook, the kids upstairs playing with their Wiis. It's having the family all together in the same room doing an activity together and getting them to start at a young age and hopefully progressing to the stage where you are with your family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's what I've been doing, and organising Waka Waka parties and performing in Waka Waka parties and trying to promote that. And it's fun, and we've opened a lot of people's eyes, which is what I think is the best part about it. When you present something to someone and they're like totally befuddled that they never knew that board games were like this, it's a fantastic feeling.
That's awesome.
And what have you been up to?
Well, we've been actually doing something kind of like that. There was a gentleman in our community. He's actually a network administrator for the Viking library system that supplies resources to libraries. His name is Jesse Shockey, And Jesse's just a great guy. I found out that he had moved back in the area, and he was managing this entire statewide network. And long and short of it, he was instrumental in organizing game nights down in Minneapolis at the Fantasy Flight Game Center.
Well,
when he moved back, so when he moved back to Fergus area, he wanted to start up gaming groups. Well, lo and behold, he had connections within the library, and they started up a game night once a month. I met with him, we had lunch, and just developed, it's like I've known this guy for years, and we just had a great time talking about board games, and subsequently we've went to a few of these game nights, and we've had 13 and 15 people. We even had a write-up in our local newspaper about the whole thing, and I got to share with the reporter about the different things happening in the hobby and the industry. And people are coming to the game night, and we're teaching them games. We're doing some gateway intro games like Code Names and Sushi Go and some of these games. But last week, after we got done kind of helping everybody get settled in and playing games, we played a 3-player game of Blood Rage.
You should get paid for every time that you mention Blood Rage and Code Names on this show. I tell you, you'd be.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Amy, show me the money. Show me the money. No, it's just I just think Jesse's a great guy and a real ambassador to the hobby, and the fact that we get to meet these new people in our community and reach out to them and not only develop friendships with them, but we also get to share our hobby with them. And I find that board games break down barriers like nothing else. It's just immediately, even people who might not be comfortable in social situations, you start playing the board game, and before you know it, everybody's just having a good time, and all of a sudden you can have conversation. And we played Deception Murder in Hong Kong, too. That was a big hit.
That is wow. Ooh. Always mentioning that.
Well, it works really great in that situation. So anyway, that's one of the things we've been up to. And I think we're going to go right into our segment, our new segment, Things That Make You Go,
The volume is here.
Yeah, baby.
Not over there. It's over here. Too many buttons for us monkeys.
Is Walter Cronkite speaking.
Sorry, I'm loading up what I need to remember to talk about.
I'm happy about it.
This is why. Yeah, show off your music, Barry. Of course. Yeah.
Well, do you want me to go and tell you a little bit about some things that are making me go,
You take it away, baby.
Well, this is a little bit kind of a self-serving, if you will, news segment, but it's a big deal, and I wanted to take my time to do that right in this segment. We are having an incredible giveaway coming up, which is a collaboration of some of our friends in the podcasting industry. The podcasts that are involved in this promotion, what we're doing is we're talking about inserts for games, and we're calling this particular promotion Inserts Galore.
Well, that'd be fun.
Inserts Galore. And we have made a video.
Sorry.
We've made a video. There you go. You can see that. Say something, Barry, and then they can see it.
I've clicked on it, so they shall see it.
It's right there. I can even put it up on my screen for you manually.
There you go.
There we go. So, Inserts Galore, we have several companies that we're representing with these inserts. The Broken Token is one of the companies. Game Trays, Insert Here, Robert Searing, Meeple Realty, and Daedalus Productions, Inc. And we have over 20 inserts, and I show these in the video with my good friend, my Scooby to my Shaggy, Barry Dublé, made a really great insert video as well in this. And we're showing all these different components. But guess what?
Rappy-roo?
Yeah, I love you, Rastro. Ruh-roh. It's the Phantom of the Opera. No, so what's happening is several of our podcasting friends, Blue Peg, Pink Peg, Rob and Patrick, Christina and Jeremy, good friends of mine. Also, Marty and Tony from Rolling Dice and Taking Names, good friends of ours. And Sean and Alex from the Dukes of Dice. And then us, Burky and Badger, Board Game Babble Show, we're all collaborating to promote all of these different inserts. And this video will show you all the different things that are available. But when this all gets said and done, we are going to be running a contest that runs for an entire month. So that's pretty cool. The entire month, you'll see it located at BoardGameTheater.com. And we'll be doing a Rafflecopter application that allows you to enter up to 10 entries. It's really simple. You're basically just going to be going to our different podcast sites and making a comment or tagging a friend, or some of them is just go to the guild, and just simple entries. And we'll give you multiple opportunities to win up to 5 different prizes. And the grand prize is the big kahuna. I've got all kinds of goodies. And you're going to see that coming shortly. The app is not up on our website yet, but it should be later today. And we're just super excited about having fun with board games. And one of the things that's really fun with getting our board games to the table is having high-quality inserts, and we're going to show you a lot of fun with that. And our other podcast friends, it's going to be a hoot because we're going to do this for a whole month and play back and forth off of one another. What do you have to say about all that, Barry?
Yikes! I think it's fantastic. Again, backing up what I was going to say Burky, but there's 2 Burkys there. Backing up what Kevin has said is that the fact that these inserts do really help and accentuate the gameplay. I mean, yeah, they go inside the box, but the fact of the matter is that, you know, the game setup is a part of your gaming time. If you can just take bits out, put it on the table, and go, bang, the game's ready in 2 minutes instead of 10 minutes, then it's a bonus. And these inserts are gorgeous. They're gorgeous.
Well, the thing that's so fun about inserts, too, is these companies that are making them, they're so innovative. I mean, you got Robert Searing there. I mean, this guy is awesome. He's got like 130-some different SKUs and beautiful precision-cut foam inserts. He's so awesome to work with. And, I mean, he's got some things. We even have a coupon code on our website. You can get 15% off your entire order from Robert Searing going to BoardGameTheater.com. But our other companies, the Broken Token, you know, I've met Greg and the guys there. They've got some really cool designs. And Daedalus, Ben at Daedalus Productions, had lunch with him at BGG Con, and he does these gorgeous laser cut wood inserts that are very innovative. And Meeple Realty, these guys are awesome. I met Lee and talked to him, and this Castles of Burgundy and Blood Rage and different ones that they have, and game trays. They've got this custom form fitting. Just super innovative, super fun. I hope you guys have a good time watching the video and joining us in the banter back and forth on that.
Yeah, definitely. It's well worth it. I can tell you that. I've got several inserts and they are cool. How about you, Josiah? Have you got any inserts for any of your games, or is your collection still with your dad's?
Well, I do actually have one insert. Well, 2, actually. I have a Robert Searing insert for my Imperial Assault, which is really actually great. It makes everything fit in that box much easier because, as we know, some of the Fantasy Flight games, they like really big boxes, and sometimes it's hard to fit everything in there without it getting incredibly messy. So, especially with all the miniatures.
Oh, so, yeah, definitely.
Really helps with that.
And the cards.
Yeah. Yep, and then the card slots. And that's what my second insert is. I believe it was a Broken Token insert. It's just a deck holder or card holder that I have in a box where I hold all my Android Netrunner cards. So that's very useful.
Yeah, they are. They're brilliant. They are brilliant. Just need a big box now for all the expansions of Dominion, I suppose.
But compared to the plastic bags that my cards were in, you know, it's probably better. So.
Oh yeah. Good. That's good.
Well, those Hobby Lobby boxes are really a nice case to be able to carry your games in as well, and especially when you have a lot of cards. A lot of Magic players do that. Netrunner, Lord of the Rings, many different ones.
Do
also,
they?
Barry, whatever.
I was going to say, do they? Over here, whenever I've seen like a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament or a Magic tournament, they have ring binder folders with all their cards in. But
I've seen that too.
Yeah. They're like, okay, which one should I use now? I'm going to use this one. It's like, okay, are you going to play the game, or are you going to just spend hours looking through your 6 catalogs of cards? Okay, I'm playing against Bob. Bob is an evil person, and I'm going to use the Darkness Magic, and come on, time's ticking! Yeah, sorry.
So what are things that have been making you go, in the news?
Okay, I will click over to the screen share and show you. It's the Cannes Festival has just finished here in France. It's for the board games, which is the As d'Or. And the 3 winners of the As d'Or, much like the Spiel des Jahres.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, they have a children's section of board games. And the winner of that was Maître Renard, which is Master Fox. It's good pronunciation, huh? Okay. Again, that's a very, very light, easy game for children. I found it pretty cool because you're just trying to feel these animal shapes and you're trying to pick out particular animals. So, like, you are the fox and you're hunting for chickens, and you're masked, so you can't see what you're touching. You have to. So that's a pretty good game. For the adult expert section, the winner, should be no surprise to anyone, is Pandemic Legacy.
Oh, yeah.
I will not say anything about that. But the game of the year has fallen to Mysterium. I should really zoom in because you probably can't see that because it's really, really small.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, so Mysterium beat out Qui Perd Gagner, which I think is Plucking Pears, and Cuba de Mafia, which is Cuba de Mafia. So yeah, that made me go It's I've had some friends go there, and they told me that they had a really good time, and they played lots of games. There was lots of prototypes. Some of my friends actually demoed their prototypes as well. So I'm waiting to hear back. So yes. The gaming world is alive in France with its own kind of Spiel des Jahres, the ass. No, it's not.
Yeah, it sounds like there's so many designers that come from France, and it seems like you're getting more and more fairs that are popping up there, and cafes, and I think it's great. I love your segment, by the way, on the Dice Tower Board Game Breakfast. Your Fresh from France segments. They're just really fun little quick videos that you do, and it's really nice seeing what's happening on the other side of the world.
Oh yeah. Unfortunately, it chokes the pocket. You know, it drains the money from from your wallet. Having to buy all the latest games which come out every week. It's like it's worse than Magic the Gathering. Every week there's about 2 or 3 new games, and it's like.
So Barry, you are developing your own shelf of shame then.
No, because I'm not buying anything. That's so when those videos stop, you know that I've stopped buying stuff.
Well, let's move on to our good, the not so bad, and the ugly.
Do we have to? Oh, yeah, that'd be me.
Not so bad. Wait for it. And the ugly.
I'm gonna have to get that in time so we can take the pictures and.
There they are. Here's our wonderful memes of the good, the not so bad, and the ugly. So go ahead and explain our rating system, if you will, Barry.
Okay, good, the bad, and the ugly section for us is our first impressions of games that we've just recently played, and we rate them in 3 categories. Good is pretty obvious. It's a game that we've played, and we thought, well, that was not too bad. That's pretty good. I'd play that again. So it's got that kind of good factor, and to represent that in our theme of video killed the radio star board games thing, we have a picture of Matthew Broderick in War Games.
Oh, yeah. That's old school, baby. That's old school.
And you got the computer saying, "Do you want to play a game?" And Broderick is saying,
"We are in."
Yeah, so that's what our good rating is. Our bad is not as bad as what you think it is. It's not so bad. It's basically a game that we've played and we thought, I could take it or leave it. You know, if it came out again and it was the only game at a gaming convention, I'd play it. But if there were other games there, then I probably might not play it. And here we have an image from Tron, where there's Finn and Leia or something like that. Oh, I can't remember.
Princess Leia.
All right, we'll call it Princess Leia. And Princess Leia there is saying, "Oh, wait a minute, bubbles are the wrong way around. Let's turn my head upside down."
Yeah. Tron says.
No, it's Finn. That's not Tron.
Yeah, well, Finn says that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And this is the original Tron.
This is the original Tron, the best one, right?
I would agree with you there, Burky.
Which one?
So Finn says, "Do you think we could ever be a board game?" What does she say?
She said, "No, not really. In a very passionate voice, but like my box heart."
This is very positive. Oh, no.
Okay, this is probably going on too long, but our Ugly is a game that after we've played it once, we wish that it got eaten up by Pac-Man. There you go. So that's our Good, Bad, and the Ugly. And
he loves it when they build cities because he can eat them.
Oh yeah, sorry, I should have explained the caption on the meme.
Well, so what have you been playing, Barry? Coffee? Drinking coffee?
No, it's tea. Okay. First game, I'll do a quick one first, is a game from our Waka Waka collection. It's called Halli Galli.
Halli Galli.
I don't know what it's called in English. Don't ask me. It's a speed game with cards and a bell. Or maybe I should give the bell out because it might be...
The Stefania bell.
Yeah. And it's a speed game where you divide up the deck of cards, and all the cards have fruit on them, and different numbers of fruit from 1 to 5. And basically, you place a card out in front of you, the next player places a card out in front of them. If there is the same fruit on both cards, and the number of those fruit equals 5, you ding the ding, you ding the bell, and you take those cards. If it doesn't, the next person puts out a card, the next person puts out a card, the next person, and this goes on until someone wins all of the cards. So there's a bit of player elimination. Obviously, it's a speed game, and you've got to use your oculars. Can someone correct me?
Eyes.
Yeah. Well corrected. So, what do you think I think of this game?
Well, you know, I don't know if you really like those speed games as much, so I'm actually going to say you're going to say not so bad.
Okay. Josiah.
Well, what happens if you hit the bell and you were wrong and they didn't actually equal 5 or whatever?
Good question. Let me just look at the French rules. If you do an error, si un jureur sonné alors qu'il n'y a pas exactement 5 fruits identiques, il doit... Oh yeah, he gives a card, one of his cards from his deck to each player if he makes an error.
Yeah.
And yeah, there you go.
Yeah, well, it sounds kind of interesting. I mean, I don't know your preferences all that much.
Reel him in, baby, reel him in. Get the net, get the net.
I've made a sale.
I'll go on a limb here. Well, not really a limb. Based on the fact that you weren't entirely certain about that rule, I would say you'd say it's not so bad.
Yeah, got me.
There you did.
Congratulations, the pair of you.
Hey! The Burkies have it.
Yeah, the game is not bad. It is a speed game. It is fun. It's something you can do in 5-10 minutes, an in-between game, and it's quite enjoyable. And it's quite fun when you claw other people's hands when you go to smash the bell, which is great. That's why I have nails. So yeah, it's good fun. It's simple. We've been teaching it to lots of people, and people seem to be enjoying it really well. So hopefully it'll be a #1 seller for us.
Yeah,
that's
Halli. Kind of interesting.
Halli Galli.
Halli Galli.
And there's different versions of that. So there's an expert version and a simpler version.
Who's the manufacturer?
It's Gigamic.
Gigamic. Gimmick. Okay, cool.
Biggie. Okay, Buck.
Amigo.
And what have you been playing?
Well, we've been playing. My daughter Gabrielle brought home a couple friends from college, and she's a freshman in college, and we played this game.
The Dream Factory.
See that?
Yes.
Dream Factory. This is a game designed by Dr. Reinhard Knizia. So all kinds of great fun trying to build your own films, basically. You're getting different characters. You can get special effects, or you can get a 4-star director. And you get points for each one of these kind of films. And they have drama films, comedy films. If you're the first one to finish a film, you actually get points for that. There's an auction mechanism. This is basically an auction game. There's different stages that you go around clockwise, and different tiles are there where you're picking up these tiles. That could be the actors or the special effects or soundtrack or those type of things. And they have different stars on them representing points. And you bid. And what's interesting about it is when you bid money, everybody, I think they start with 12. I could be wrong about that. Maybe it's 15. But anyway, you start with these coins. And if you say I bid 10, and we had 3 people playing the game, you divide that amount amongst the remaining players, and they get that amount. So in that case, they would each get 5 coins because I won the bid, got the tiles, started filling out my movie. They would get money. So that's how you'd replenish your money to be able to bid on the next auction. And the auctions vary in the size and the number of things. And ultimately, at the end, you're trying to get the highest rated movie, and whoever does so gets the most points and wins. So how do you think about that?
It sounds interesting. It sounds like my type of game. I think I've seen a review of it, and I think that Knizia is a very mathy person, so I think it's probably not entirely fantastic, but it's playable. So I think you're going to say it's not so bad.
Well,
and Josiah probably knows.
Probably. My guess would be also not so bad, just because it's a fairly lighter game, actually. The auction mechanic is really simple, and that's basically what you're doing. And it is a fun game, and we've enjoyed it, definitely, because we played it together quite a few times. But I haven't really heard you talking about it all that much. But
I should have let you go first.
Enjoy it when we play it.
Well, you guys got me pegged.
Yay!
Not so bad. I wouldn't say this is the game that I want to pull out every time or anything like that, but it's simple to teach. The characters in there are kind of fun and zany, and you develop some kind of movie. They've got these little comedy kind of titles, and then they've got made-up names for these famous actors. Sylvester Stallone might be Sylvester Baloney or something like that. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of cute. It's easy to teach. And we have fun, so if you have non-gamers, it's a great game for that. It's not like I want to pull it out every time, so that's why I said not so bad, but it's a good game, and I'd highly recommend it if you like that kind of family fun, goofy, quick. You play it in an hour and 15 minutes, so that type of thing. So what else have you been playing, Barry?
Okay, when I recently went to the Board Game Cafe, I met up with a board game designer who's published their own first game through their own label, and it's a game left is right, right is left. Okay, called
Yeah.
Dice Seadogs by Fantasy Editions. Again, this is French only at the moment, although the rulebook is in English. And it's a dice game where each player is a captain of a pirate ship, and everyone takes turns rolling 5 dice. And what happens is the captain that rolled the dice gets to choose which dice he wants. And there's a dice for food, there's a dice for recruiting pirates, there's a dice for collecting gold, there's a dice for trading materials. So there's these 5 different dice which all do different things, and each player will be taking one of these dice after they've been rolled. And then what will happen is everybody will then change the level of their crew, or the amount of food, or the amount of material they've got, or the amount of gold they've got, depending on the number written on the dice. And then afterwards they have to feed their pirates. If they've got pirates, then they'll have to feed them, and if they haven't got the food, they lose those pirates. And every now and again, the 5th dice is the event dice, the adventure dice. So it'll either tell you to go and search for treasure, or it'll tell you to have combat with another player, or it'll tell you that this big giant squid is going to attack your crew and you, and probably steal something or kill some crew. So that's the game. And you just keep going until someone reaches the level of gold. So you could set it at 15, or you could set it at 20. So it's basically grab the gold by rolling the dice and choosing a dice and adding that result to your chip.
Sounds a lot like what is it? Roll through the ages.
Yeah, but it's more simpler.
But simpler.
Mm.
Yeah, I think you say it's good. That sounds like a quick, fun game. I'm going to say good. What do you think, Josiah?
I think you're going to say not so bad. You know, it sounds like it might be a little too simplistic for what you might be thinking, but I could be wrong.
You could be wrong, yes. You could be wrong.
But he's not.
But I'm not.
Yeah, the game is not bad. Yeah, it's the first time we played it at the cafe with the designer, and he explained everything, and he had this air of, and we really enjoyed it. We played it with our daughter, and it was a great time. We took it home, we played it a couple of days later, and there wasn't the same kind of atmosphere, and it wasn't the same kind of game experience, and it made me wonder, maybe I've translated the rules or remembered the rules wrong. So this game is not bad, but I think I'll have to play it a couple more times to see if it falls into the right category. But for the moment, it's not too bad. I'd play it again, but purely to see if it gets better.
It sounded kind of fun. Well, I've been playing an expansion from my shelf of same, and it's my shelf of pain. Concordia Salsa expansion.
Aha.
Now, Concordia Salsa, this is expansion for the Spiel des Jahres nominee, or it's the Kinderspiel nominee, I believe, correct? Just a couple years ago. And Concordia is a game where you're basically building trading posts and you're sending colonists out. It's got an interesting action selection type of mechanism with cards that you can actually purchase to add to your hand and then recycle through them by playing your Tribune card. You're traveling around these different either land base or sea zones. There's several maps that have come out for it now. And Salsa adds a new component called Salt, which is wild. It also adds some interesting tiles that give people either immediate action or a subsequent long-term action that you can use throughout the game. It also comes with another double-sided map. And last night we actually played with my daughter and Josiah, and we played the Asia Minor map, I believe it was. And that's basically, a lot of people know about Concordia, but this is a Salsa expansion. What do you think I have to say about that?
Josiah, you go first.
I think that would be a little unfair.
Okay, I'll go first then. You wouldn't have bought the expansion if you didn't like the base game, and I've heard that the expansion makes the game better, although the maps don't help so much. So I'm going to say that you think this game is good, baby. It's good.
Josiah, what do you think I think about it?
I definitely think you think it's good. We definitely enjoy Concordia a lot. And it was great. It was a lot of fun. It added some nice elements to the game, and it was just a lot of fun.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We're in. It's as good as the movie War Game. Yeah, we love Concordia. I love that action selection, with those cards and being able to play those cards. Is somebody going to play a Mercantor, which allows you to do trading, or is somebody going to play a Prefect card, which allows you to go get resources or get money from the tiles that have already been flipped over for the resources, or am I going to take a strategy of trying to collect different cards, in which I did last night and had good success with. The Salsa expansion adds just another level.
Of salsa.
Of salsa. Salsa, baby. Everything's better with salsa on it.
Oh,
Eggs,
yeah. Oh, Happy
chicken,
Mouth.
Happy Mouth salsa. My wife makes salsa to die for. I mean, it's all fresh from the garden. Now, salsa is awesome. So, but
You're
anyway,
still alive.
salsa.
That's the thing I can't understand. You're still alive, and salsa's to die for.
Well, I just come back to life all the time.
She resuscitates you.
Because after I eat it, then I go into food coma and take a nap, and then I come back to life.
Or you fight to stay alive to just complete your shaft of shame. It's like, I can't die. This salsa's so good.
I have a mission. I have a mission.
Must.
Yeah, no, you're right. Concordia, love it. It's one of our family's favorite games. My daughter Maddie, she goes, I love this game, and we're just excited to play it all the time. So great game, highly recommend. Go and get it. I think you'll have a good time. And we're going to move right on to our next segment with Josiah, my son, Josiah Burkhardsmeier. But before we get into that, what game is behind the door? Josiah, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us some of the things you've been doing with Board Game Theater and what you're doing in your life and how people can get a hold of you.
All right. Well, I am currently a college student, so I'm going to school currently for computer science. And in my spare time, I enjoy playing board games as much as I can. So I've kind of grown up with it, playing games with my dad. Started way back when I was younger. We'd play Axis and Allies and Risk, and then some other classic Milton Bradley titles like Shogun, Fortress America. And then we started a tradition where we would actually get a family game at Christmas each year. And I think the first few were Settlers of Catan and Ticket to Ride and a few other Days of Wonder games. And for my graduation, we went to Gen Con, actually. We had heard about it and decided it might be cool. So my dad and I and my best friend and his dad went to Gen Con. And since then, the whole world of board gaming kind of exploded open. And we've gotten involved quite a bit in, we have Board Game Theater now that we're doing. So that's a lot of fun to do. I really like acting on the side as well. So I've done a lot of theater and drama. So it's a lot of fun. It's just a lot of fun, and board gaming is great. And there's so much out there. You can find something you like for sure. So,
tell us about Bob Boxfart.
Oh, Bob Boxfart. Well, that is my persona for Board Game Theater. The board game inspector, Bob Boxfart.
So, where did he come from originally?
Well, we were just trying to create a character who could kind of do a narration and introduction for Board Game Theater, and we decided that, we kind of wanted a humorous character, and the humor came in the name. It's just something someone threw out there and we thought was kind of funny, so we decided to go with it, and yeah, there we go. And I like doing accents, so you got a British accent.
I
However
know-
atrocious it may be.
Oh no, you've done some really good accents. Your Scottish accent was really good. Obviously box art is very good, and then you did your Viking voice as well, which if I remember correctly was a bit like Shrek.
Yeah, the character that Josiah played in our Blood Rage episode was taken from the History Channel's Viking show, and the character in the show is called Floki, the boatmaker, which we made Fluky. And Fluky, if you haven't had a chance to watch Blood Rage on Board Game Theater and you like the Viking show, really check out Josiah. His performance was remarkable. We had Lance Meister with it. It was fun, and I enjoyed being a part of it, but Josiah was by far the star. Josiah does such a great job with all the segments. He writes the Bob Boxfart segments. He oftentimes is very instrumental in coming up with some of our themes and some of the comedy that we can play off, and it's just so very proud of him. He does such a great job.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yay! That's what.
So as for the last question on how to get a hold of me, well, I guess that's a bit harder because I'm not super active on social media. Like I don't actually use Twitter, but Facebook, I do check in with the Board Game Theater on Facebook, that page there. I also have my own personal Facebook and Google Plus on occasion, but so.
He gets active on our Board Game Theater YouTube channel from time to time.
If you post a comment down there, I'll answer sometimes if you have a question or something like that. So.
How south of London does Bob Boxfart come from? Is it like 2 miles south, or is it like 6 miles south? I'm doing a Yorkshire accent, laddie.
Gotta keep it a secret because then don't accidentally give away any plot holes.
Josiah, what are you doing now in life as far as schooling and that type of thing?
Oh, I'm going to the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks for computer science. So, yeah, school, college, homework, fun.
Well, we thought Josiah would be a great guest for the show today. I'm gonna allow Barry to do the questions on what game is behind the door. As I probably know the answers, I might just interject some little signets there, but we're gonna allow Barry to do that. And then the Babble topic, the video game that killed the board game star. Josiah is very active in the gaming hobby, not only in tabletop games but also in video game. And so we thought he'd be a perfect person to give his perspective and articulate those thoughts. So, Barry, let's do What Game is Behind the Door?
Yay! Fave. Remix. Anywho. Okay, what game is behind the door? What I'm gonna do, because Burky over there knows all the answers that Burky's gonna be telling us, is I'm gonna be asking young Burky Jr., JJ Jr., 3 questions and find out a bit more about his board game collection and what he's up to and what he likes to do. We will start with his first question, and the question is, what is the last game that he purchased? Now, we're going to do this in a kind of yes-no 20 questions style. Am I going to ask 10 questions because you're not participating, Kev?
No.
All right, I'm going to ask 5 questions. We'll do the impossible and try and figure out.
I'll help you out a little, maybe.
Okay.
Not.
Okay, Josiah. Question number 1. The last game that you purchased, would it be silence? I'm stumped with that. I'm stumped without my partner. Okay. Is this game primarily cards?
No.
No. Okay. question number 2. Does this game have a fantasy theme? Yes, no, or in the middle?
Kind of in the middle.
In the middle. So it's a yes, no. A yes, no. Okay.
Depends on your definition of fantasy.
Also, it could be sci-fi fantasy. Okay.
You're hitting on something, buddy.
Yeah, and you're looking at it, are you? Is it in your collection? No, it wouldn't be because the
Is
question is.
You're asking me a question?
No. Why would I want to do that?
You can't handle the truth.
But all I want to know is, can I sit on your lap, Father Christmas?
Are you talking to me? You talking to me? It's not in my collection.
Yeah, it wouldn't be because the question is, what game did he last purchase?
Yeah. And I'm not including it's not an expansion for a game because that would be kind of boring.
Thank you for the clue. Okay. It's not cards. It's not fantasy. It could be fantasy.
Oh, I hear the gears clicking in Barry's little brain.
There are no gears clicking. Trust me, there are no gears. It's just Scooby-Doo voices at the back of my head. Oh, Shaggy. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Zayas!
Zowie. No, that's Captain Caveman. Okay.
Oh, no.
Is this game a co-op?
Sorry, what was that?
Is the game a co-op?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No. Cold, Barry, cold.
Okay. And
Think new.
Okay, so there's a clue. So it's in the last year or so. Okay, is this game? Why am I thinking Through the Ages? No. Is this game a strategic heavy game?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to say Through the Ages?
Nope.
No, okay. Through the Ages second edition, that is. Second edition.
Give you one more. You got one more.
Jeez, Lou, the clock is ticking. Can you hear the clock?
Does anybody else out there watching us live know the answer?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Please help Barry.
Yeah, please help Barry.
Okay. Right now.
Okay. It could be sci-fi. It could be fantasy. Oh, God. Does it have Star Wars in the title?
No.
No. Okay. That
was a good one, Barry.
Yeah. That rules out about 50 games. So. Okay. I am. Okay. No, that's Kevin owns viticulture. I am grasping at straws. It's hard to do on your own. It really is.
Maybe you should get a few more questions.
Yeah, I should have a few more questions because normally I've got someone helping me.
Okay, I'll give you a clue.
Go on then.
I'm pretty sure this is accurate. I could be wrong, but I would say big box.
Twilight Imperium.
No.
Big box.
He does own that.
I do own Twilight Imperium.
Okay. I'm going to say Blood Rage then.
Nope.
Oh.
All right, Josiah, you stumped Barry the Babble lot.
Yeah.
Good one.
It is Forbidden Stars.
Yes. Tell us about Forbidden Stars.
Forbidden Stars is a it's a 4X game set in the Warhammer 40k universe. It's put out by Fantasy Flight Games just, I think, last year, and it's amazing. It's 2 to 4 players, and you're each controlling a different race in the Warhammer universe, and you're going out and controlling different planets, building units, fighting battles through an amazing, amazing card and dice combat system.
Yeah.
And then you try to get the objectives from the different planets, and it's a great, great game. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, why didn't I think of that? Fantasy Flight, at its best.
Yeah,
So do you both have a copy each, or?
No,
No,
just me.
only Josiah owns it. We're actually on the 12th. Jesse, the guy that does the game group night, he's coming over to our house, and we're going to be playing Forbidden Stars, and such a great game. It's awesome.
Okay, so I lost there.
So now we're going to go on to part 2, where Josiah's going to actually be drawing us an image, and he's going to show us on screen. We'll help describe what the image is, but the question for him is, what game are you most excited about getting? I got the hiccups. Hold your breath. Oh.
I'll edit them out of the podcast.
Don't say you have hiccups. Think about hiccups. That makes them go away.
Okay, so has he started drawing?
Oh, yes.
He's drawing. He's drawing.
Okay,
Oh, look at him go. Look at him go.
Get the clock going.
Josiah's actually quite an artist.
Yeah?
No.
Yeah, he's been painting his miniatures.
Oh, so he's painting a miniature right now, and that's going to give us a clue what the game is. Okay. Let's fill the dead space. So how long have you known Josiah, Kevin?
I don't know, about a year or so. He's my son. He's 20-some years old, but I only begun to know him, so
Okay, would you trade him for a toothbrush?
No, I wouldn't trade him for the world.
No?
No, my son, he's been one of my favorite gaming partners, and apart from gaming, he's just a great young man, and he's just got so much going for him. He's just a lot of fun to be around.
Okay, that's good to know. He's not interfering with your computer and like downloading things which you haven't authorized, and then when you switch it on, there's all these little icons everywhere, and you're like, what the hell? What are you doing? What are you doing with my computer?
This is something you might not know, Barry, but there's something about Josiah that he has in common with you other than board games. What do you think that might be?
He has a box that farts.
Yeah, he does have box farts.
He can do an English accent.
Also, he does, all right.
All right.
He has. No, I was going to say he has brown eyes, but he doesn't.
No, he is actually a very accomplished musician. He plays drums, he plays piano, and he is really, really a fantastic drummer.
Drummer. Is that the hiccups? Drummer.
All right, Josiah, show us your picture.
All
We'll
right.
describe it.
Dun, 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 dun. We have some 5-pointed stars, quite a lot of them in the sky,
A bunch of stars.
and there's something that looks.
It's
like
an
a planet.
olive. It's like a big olive
It's a planet.
with a pimento.
It's a moon.
A pimento.
It's
If
too
Suzanne's
big for-
listening, she'll get that.
It's too big for a moon. Okay.
It's too big for a moon. Yeah, you see the little ships there too that are kind of floating around. Oh boy.
Oh boy. I think I know what this is.
This could be a lot of different things though.
Yeah, it could be Monopoly Star Wars Edition. But I think you've already got that.
Yeah, exactly.
It could be
Loop and Chewy. Loop and Chewy.
could be Loop and Chewy, yeah. I never thought of that one. But I was thinking Carcassonne Star Wars. See what I did there?
Carcassonne.
I abbreviated it. There you go. Carcass Wars. There you go. The new Star Wars. You can put the picture down now, Josiah. I figured it out.
All right, what is it?
It's a
That's
fantasy
not a
flight.
moon.
That's
Good one, Josiah.
It's the new Star Wars game from Fantasy Flight, which is called.
What is it called?
I can't remember. Rebellion, something like that.
Rebellion.
Star Wars
Star Wars
Rebellion.
Rebellion. Yeah, I knew that he was going
Why are you
Super
looking
excited
forward to
about
this
that one.
then? Why are you looking forward to this, Josiah?
Because it's Star Wars, and because it looks to be an amazing game. Fantasy Flight, they have top quality products, and they have posted quite a number of previews. Not the rules yet, but a lot of previews for the game, going over a lot of the concepts. And so it totally looks like something I'm into. It is only 2-player. Well, I guess you can do like a team kind of variant, but it's Rebellion versus Empire. And so it's asymmetrical sides, which is great. And then there's a lot of strategic decisions and choices and combat, obviously, and then Star Wars. So,
So Josiah, would you say that you're a bigger Star Wars fan or Star Trek fan?
it's difficult because they're two completely different things. They're very, very different. So I love them both very much. I think
You've been very
Star Wars
inundated.
more.
Star Wars more.
Yeah, just because I've read a lot of Star Wars, like expanded universe now, Legends, Disney.
Oh, okay. So can I ask you,
yeah.
when you go shopping and you're walking down your local supermarket and you're going down the aisles, and then you see, oh, I need some milk today, and you look at the milk aisle and you go down there and you go, oh, should I get the normal full fat, or should I get this, oh, milk with Star Wars sticker on it? Oh, what do you get?
I get the cheaper one.
You get the cheaper one. Spoken like a real student.
Everything's measured in ramen. Ramen noodles. Yeah, that'll cost me 10 ramen.
Do you get the milk or the Romulan ale? Okay, so I got one right.
Well, we're going on to part 3, and the question for our guest is, what is your favorite current game? This is the one you're playing the most, dreaming about the most, things that you think about at night, when you have your dreams.
Dream. Okay, in this way, in this version, what we're going to have is we're going to have Josiah give us 5 one-worded clues. Well, he's going to give me 5 one-worded clues, and I have to guess what this game is.
And to make it interesting, I am only going to give you misdirection. So what I say is not the truth.
But you told him that now.
Why don't you make it more fun and open up your box of code names and put the cards out in front of you?
All right, so 5 one-word clues. Let's see if you can stump Barry.
So your first is pew.
As in,
pew, 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 pew.
Oh, right, as in shooting.
No, it's like church pew.
Okay, is this that game of crossover of Warhammer and Star Wars called Imperial Wars in Star Hammer?
That's not a game.
This one's hard to see.
No. Go on, move on. Second word.
Yeah. This one's difficult. It's hard to figure out exactly stuff to say. It has to be one word.
Yeah.
All right. Trap.
Trap.
That could be any Star Wars game in the universe.
This is a mouse game. It's a mouse game. It has mice in it, Barry.
The mice that smell. They go,
I'm helping you a lot here.
So now he can automatically cross off mice games.
Yeah. So
no, everything I say is not a lie.
Okay, so pew trap. It's a trap. Imperial assault. I'll just have. It's not Imperial assault.
Yeah. You're wrong, Barry. All right. Now I can mock you.
Yeah,
I feel like anything I'm going to say is a dead giveaway is the issue.
I've got a clue that wouldn't be.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to give the third clue just for fun. Geometry. Is that a good one?
Yeah. Geometry. You see, I don't know much about geometry. I don't know much about.
Sing it, Barry.
Don't know much about the science book. Don't know much about the drugs I took. No, that's not the word.
I don't know what that marijuana is, but you just bring it over here and I'll drink it.
Get off your horse and drink your marijuana. Yeah, that works. I can imagine John Wayne saying that.
Now listen here, Pilgrim.
Pew trap. It's definitely a space game. It's definitely something to do with Star Wars and geometry. I'm going to say Star Wars Carcassonne because that's geometry, putting square tiles out.
Nope.
Nope. All right, fourth clue.
So, fourth clue is tournaments.
Oh. Tournaments. This is torment me. You're tormenting me. Oh.
It's like tour mints, like Mentos and Altoids.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
get it right.
Mentos and Sprite.
Explosion.
Potion explosion. No, it's not that. I will pass and wait for the last clue. Has anybody at home got any ideas to see? Let's have a look.
Painting.
No. Lots of messages on Facebook. Barry, when you're coming back to work? Barry, would you like? No.
You're almost there, Josiah. You can do it. Stump him.
Stump me.
Yeah. So, clue number 5.
Yes.
Painting.
Painting. No, it can't be the galleryist. Painting. Geometry trap. Painting.
I told you it was mice. I told you. Everything I say is the truth.
Yeah, but the mice don't paint. Unless they're the painted pipe. It's the painted piper. Not the Pied Piper, the painted pointer. Pew. Trap. Pew. Trap. Could it be pew? No, it's not pew. Is in the pew. Is in the church pew. It is a pew. Let me find the cricket.
I hear clicking.
Yeah.
I see cobwebs. I mean, there's air blowing through the ears right now.
I haven't got a clue.
Oh, you were so close. Okay, Josiah.
Okay, well, do I have to give a phrase now, or is it just...
You can give him a hint phrase if you like.
Okay, well, I will confirm it's a trap.
It's a trap. It's a trap. Go have the lip. It's a trap.
The shield generator is not down.
Okay, it's Star Wars Timeline.
Nope.
Because they haven't got paintings in it.
It is...
Go on. Drum roll, please. Where's the drum roll?
Oh, and that's backwards, isn't it?
No, it's not.
There we go.
Pick it up a little more.
Why didn't I think it was Star Wars Armada? How many times?
Armada.
How many times
show
have your
them a couple
dad
of your
posted
minis.
pictures on Facebook of Star Wars Armada?
Well, look at this. Look what he's doing.
Okay, I'll put it full screen.
Full screen.
Wow. What ship's that? I don't recognize that one.
Is MC-30 Fire.
Okay. Ah.
He's been painting.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's a shame
so
the
that's
camera can't
amazing.
focus.
Yeah. But, you know, very iconic ships.
For you audio listeners out there, Josiah is showing us some of the painted miniatures that he's done of his Star Wars Armada models. Really
So
nice.
what's so great about this game which keeps dragging you back?
Oh, it's so good. There's just so many possible combinations when you're building your fleet with all the upgrade cards and the expansion ships. And I mean, it's only on the second wave release of expansions, but the game is already so diverse and deep. Every game is different, just the way they have their objective system, that you'll be playing a different objective a lot of the time, so that changes the way you can get points besides from just destroying your opponent. And I don't know, it's Star Wars, so that definitely gives it a boost. But I don't know, it's very strategic. There's a lot of planning. It's a game where you can make a mistake before the game's actually begun. And if you have, you may have just nearly lost yourself the game. So that doesn't appeal to everyone, but there's such tactical and strategic depth, because just the way the ships move, they're actual ships, you know, it's a miniatures game. They don't just turn on a dime. If you point them away from your opponent, it's going to take them, you know, a third to half of the game to actually get into a place to do anything useful. So it's very important. That's what I mean. You can kind of lose yourself the game if you set up poorly, but that doesn't happen most of the time because it's not too hard to.
Especially after you're more experienced with the game. Josiah has been playing a lot of tournament play and was actually involved in the play at Gen Con. Tell us a little bit about that in the local game stores.
Yeah, so one thing I love is how Fantasy Flight offers tournament support for a lot of their games. It's really, really great. And so they offer prizes, which, you know, are amazing. Who doesn't love prizes? And it gives a chance to, you know, play the game with some more people. Because coming from a smaller town, the nearest game store that actually holds events is like an hour drive away. So it's nice to be able to go there for kind of an event where it's, you know, an afternoon where you're just kind of doing that game that you really want to play. So that's really cool. It gives a chance to kind of play some other games because there aren't a whole lot of players kind of in a tight area. But so I played at several local stores that have had their different events around the areas. And then I got a chance to play at Gen Con, which I hadn't played very much of the game at that point, and the game was still really new. So I did fairly well. I placed 15th, which is Gen Con is the North American Championships for Fantasy Flight's games.
There's normally about 200 people that enter for that. Or...
Yeah, Star Wars Armada is 100 is the registration cap.
Okay.
For their Star Wars Armada.
It was 2 full days of competition too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's 5 rounds. Each round is about 2.5 hours, plus there's waiting time in between. And then after Gen Con, I actually got a chance to go to Worlds, which is held at Fantasy Flight's Event Center in Roseville, Minnesota. So luckily it's in-state for me, so I was able to go down there without a whole lot of expense. So that was really nice, and I really enjoyed it. It was great. Met a lot of people. Didn't do as well there. I made some poor choices, which definitely cost me, but it was still a lot of fun. And yeah, the game then released the second wave of expansions, which completely changed the way a lot of the kind of archetypes were for the game, and really made it very complete. And it's so much fun. I enjoy it a lot.
Okay, cool.
Well, I think that's a really great segue to bring us right into the Babble topic. Video games that killed the board game star. And some questions that we're thinking about. There's the Babble. Babble! Babble, 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 babble. No music except for me.
Oh, you want the Babble music? I did the Babble music.
Well, the Babble music, it rocks, man.
Okay.
And for the babble, 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 Burky and Badger's Board Game Babble.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, we're going to talk about board games and video games and how they compare. And Josiah, being an avid video gamer as well, we want to get your input and let you give us your perspective on what you're seeing out there in the hobby regarding video games and board games and your background with video games versus board games, that type of thing. So do you think it is fair to compare video games and board games?
Well, I think you can. There's, a lot of similarities, and there's also definitely, some big diversities. But I think there's a good number of similarities where you can make some pretty good comparisons. They're similar enough for that.
So if you're, tell us a little bit about your video gaming history.
Well, I, loved playing computer games as a kid, so I would, play some games. I think some of the first ones were like Age of Empires 2. We had an Axis and Allies, which was just the board game, but on the computer, so I could play versus some AI opponents. And so I really just enjoyed it as a kid. It's a lot of fun. And over the years, I've kind of just kept up with it, found some game series and developers who, release games that I like, and they're a fun way to spend some time and, just
started out with
stuff like that.
Nintendo's, Sega Genesis, PS2, Xbox.
Well, I mean, it was mainly the PC, and then also later on I had a Sega Dreamcast, so that was a lot of fun. Played quite a few games on the Sega Dreamcast.
Still have it.
Yeah, we do still have it. And then a PlayStation 2. But I tend not to do a whole lot of console gaming, just because a lot of the games don't appeal to me as much. But
you have an Xbox and have a PS2 and that too, so you
played with an Xbox.
XCOM,
I play on occasion, yeah.
Halo, some of those.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, Barry. You got some questions for Josiah on this topic?
Yes, this topic. I'll explain why I picked this topic for this show. A little while ago, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine. Now, my friend, he works as a freelance artist for Sony. So he does lots of animation and graphics for any game that comes out on the PlayStation. PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4. He's recently, if I can set this up, he recently, oh no, don't do that. No, I pushed the wrong button. Don't give a monkey a tablet. He recently created a game for tablets and smartphones. Okay, and we were having this talk, and he was quite happy to have his game, put onto the Google Play Store, and he was extremely happy. Unlike me, who can't even switch on my tablet. This is great! I am so organized. And I'm pushing the on button. On. There we go. Okay. And so he created this game. And within the first couple of weeks, he was happy. People were downloading it. And then all of a sudden, there was just like this void of nothing. He's heard nothing in months. When you type in the name of the game, you can't find it because the search engine is completely full with the myriad of games which have been produced and millions of apps that have been produced for the tablets and the smartphone world. And so we got into this discussion about, there's so many of these games just for tablets and smartphones, not including the consoles and everything. And he asked me, how many games come out for board games? And I said, well, last year around about 600, 700 games come out. And he goes, well, you can't really compare that. And I was like, well, you can in a way, due to the fact that there's 600-700 games that come out, board games, but how many of them are going to be in everybody's home? How many of those are actually going to be played? How many of those are going to get big, major kind of distributors behind them? Not all of them. There's going to be a lot of games which are going to get lost in the myriad of board games that there are. We can't afford to buy all these board games as well, can we? Can we, Kevin?
No. No, we cannot. Send me your board games. We cannot afford them.
Yes, we can't afford them. They're a lot more expensive than a $2.99 app, aren't they? Or a $2.99 Angry Birds. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, in regards to the gaming world, the board gaming world, the numbers are not as big as, say, the console or the tablets that we have, but there's still that void of, you know, getting your name out there and producing a game which people are going to instantly hook onto, which is going to make, you know, it's going to generate buzz and generate sales and generate a good time with everyone. And that's why I come up with this subject of, you know, our board gaming hobby going down the same road as video gaming, where it's just everyone's pumping out stuff and there's so much stuff that a lot of it gets left on the wayside.
I think that's really an interesting question. I think it's a possibility. I mean, whenever you have something that is growing and producing more and more, there's going to be stuff that's left behind and that can't keep up. And I think in a way that's good, because it's gonna encourage high production values. It's going to encourage well thought out designs, and it's going to encourage competition for those really, really good games. And yes, it may make it harder at times for some smaller publishers, which is unfortunate, because you do want to keep encouraging those, you know, smaller game publishers and designers to be able to create their products and get them out there. But I think that a certain amount of competition and volume is good. I do see there could be an issue where those small designers are having, you know, a hard time if there's too much volume of games being put out there. And I think that's where you have to kind of hope that as the hobby keeps growing enough, that there'll still be enough people in the hobby to support those smaller designers. That yes, there's a higher volume of games, but there's also a higher volume of people who are playing the games.
Yeah, I think one thing that's kind of interesting about that is that the hobby is definitely on an upswing. It's definitely growing, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down. It seems to be increasing. The amount of games, the quality of the games. Video games have a much larger market share, and yet you see a lot of poor quality video games as well, kind of flooding the market as well. And there's only so much time that a person has to play these things. And do you feel like that the board game hobby has the same potential to get as large and as pervasive in our society as video games are now?
For me, I would say no, because number one, if you look at the state at the moment, if you go to the website, if you go to the internet, sorry, not a website, but if you go to the internet, you can have a look around and you will find channels which are totally devoted to video games and live streaming of video games, where at the moment you don't really have that for board games because it's not the same. It's not the same visual appeal, for example. Whereas, you know, watching a video with some blokes sat around a table and, oh, your turn, okay. And watching some is two totally different things. So you can't emulate board games the same as you can video games in the media like this. So like that's why our board game hobby is so hidden in a way, because the amount of exposure that we can possibly put out is in a narrow bandwidth compared to video games, which has, you know, it'll have Lady Gaga song in it, you know, buy Die Hard 7 on your PlayStation set, and you can have Lady Gaga's album free. But you can't do that with board games. Well, you possibly could. You could put like a CD in, like Fantasy Flying Frog do, but.
What do you think about that, Josiah? Do you think there's an opportunity there, the amount of reviewers and the amount of media that's happening with board games versus the media that's happening with video and all that?
Well, I think part of it is the video game hobby is still growing as well. And because it's larger, I think that means it grows at a faster rate than the board gaming hobby is. So I don't know if it's actually possible for it to catch up, just because of the time it takes to grow. And also, like Barry says, there is a very different kind of accessibility to video games. Like video games, you can play by yourself. You have AI opponents, or multiplayer, yes, but they're against people you've never met or not even talking to. So it's much easier to play a single player or multiplayer video game than it is to get 4, 5, 6 people together, sit down and play a board game for 2 hours. Because maybe I have a little bit of extra time. I spend 15 minutes doing something on the game, and then save it and leave because I got to go do something else.
I can never do that. It's like, all right, 5 more minutes. Yeah. I'll just get past this level.
That is true.
All right, 5 more minutes. I'm gonna be late. I'm gonna be late.
He can't do it either.
Depends on what I have to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's part of it. And like you say, the video game industry also has a higher entertainment potential, I believe, for sure. I mean, there's tons and tons of YouTube channels out there that are insanely huge. Millions of people who watch videos on video gaming. So and streaming as well. So there's a much larger audience, and I think it's continuing to grow. So it's going to go faster than the board gaming hobby, and I think it has more potential. I do definitely think the board gaming hobby will continue to expand, and I hope that it expands, massively, because I think that would be great. I think board games really they're more social than video gaming. Even for video games, like I have groups that I play games with, and that we're in a voice chat. That's what my headset's for. We play all sorts of different games together, or just hang out while we're doing stuff. So you can develop friendships and meet people and have interaction with other people online. But it's not the same still as being face to face with someone sitting down and playing a game.
Exactly. So. Exactly. I mean, when you're playing online with someone and they kill you, and then you swear at them, they can't punch you. But if you do that, at the board game table, they can punch you.
So, what's the table?
Or flip the table, yeah, or shove Monopoly pieces up your nose. Yeah, that hurts. Trust me.
Well, what kind of board games do you think, or what kind of board games that you'd like to see digital implementations, or games that you currently are playing that have a digital implementation?
I've got a quick answer. None.
None.
Yeah, well, that's actually a really interesting question, because there's a few parts to my answer for this one. First of all, there's something recently that's come out called Tabletop Simulator, and it's on Steam, it's on the PC, and it's just a implementation and allows you to play tabletop games using a digital table. And there's all sorts of community games that have been created from art assets and modelers from actual players who've done 3D models. So there's all sorts of games that you can now play the exact same as a tabletop, just online, with friends. So I don't actually have Tabletop Simulator yet, again, being a college student. However, I have several friends.
Daddy, I need some money, Daddy.
We need to get a Patreon account just so we can fund Josiah just to get
But I have several friends in my group that I do stuff online with that they have Tabletop Simulator, and they'll get together and play board games, and we're all chatting, or they're all chatting on voice chat, and playing games and joking around and having a good time. So it's very similar to actually a tabletop experience.
Yeah, it's a virtual table in between two players.
Yep. And then you have your more digitalized versions of board games where maybe it's AI, or maybe it's a completely different game, like maybe it was turn-based, or it was a board game, so obviously you take turns and do things in a board game. But then in the computer version, now it's real time, and you're responding to certain actions. Or it's gone the other way, where you have real-time games, RTS strategy games that they kind of take into a board game format where it has to change to make it compatible. So I think that's really interesting. Now, for me personally, any games that I would want to see be digitalized or already have, the first is actually Star Wars Armada, which this is kind of funny. It's obviously my favorite game, and part of the reason for that is because there's a program called Vassal. It's it's kind of the same idea. It's a virtual table, if you will. It's not a super refined table. Like, it doesn't enforce any rules. Like, you have to know the rules of the game to be able to play on Vassal, because it just lets you move pieces around and so forth. But so Vassal is free as well. It's a free program that's out there that people create modules for. And so
Tom Vassal has his own program?
Don't say the name!
No. Does he come on with a different hat every time you load the program?
No, yeah, this is in no way related to Tom Vassal. So it's just called
man.
Vassal. So anyway, they have a Star Wars Armada module, which it's very well done. I mean, it's just community made. People just make this because they enjoy the games and they want to have a way to play them with other people. And so I've been able to play a lot of Armada on Vassal, and I've done a few tournaments on there. They have tournaments that they've been running through the Fantasy Flight forums and that community. So it's really helped me get in a lot more games than I would of Star Wars Armada, just because I don't have a lot of local players. So it's definitely really helped me improve in my competitive aspect of that game, and just let me play the game that I like the most. So,
yeah. Kevin, can I ask you, how do you feel playing against me on Board Game Arena when we play Stone Age? How does that compare to you sat at the table with your friends and your family playing Stone Age?
How does that make me feel? Emotional. Makes me feel emotional. Because my computer on Board Game Arena always kicks out on me for some reason. And I don't know if it's your computer or my computer, but it's like refresh. No, I enjoy playing it online with you because I know you're there doing something on the other end and we can chat a little bit. But for me to be able to sit down and play games with you live would be so much more of a rewarding experience. All kinds of jokes, back and forth, simultaneous, not waiting for technology to do it is as much fun as it is, and an opportunity that we at least get to do that. I would by far rather have the tactile experience one-on-one.
Yeah, and you'd be able to hear me say to you, "Come on, take your turn," instead of me just like, "Come on, take your turn," kicking this button.
Yeah,
"Come on,
exactly.
I want to go." Yeah,
I'm refreshing, idiot. I'm refreshing.
I was talking.
And one thing I should mention about, I didn't really make a distinction between like Vassal and Tabletop Simulator. A lot of like Tabletop or Board Game Arena and Vassal, they're all 2D. You know, you have a flat board with the pieces on it that move in some way. Tabletop Simulator is actually a full 3D. It actually has a table that's like on the screen.
And
there's actually a table there, and you can flip the table. And they have 3D pieces and such, so it's a little more advanced, if you will, than a lot of 2D stuff.
Well, now isn't the new one Tabletopia?
Yeah.
People are actually designing games using Tabletopia, and I think that's a subscription-based service as well, right?
Yeah, it is. They last week they were showing they were actually playing Scythe. Yeah, there was a bunch of guys over in the UK playing Scythe. So Paul Grogan was one of them.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so they had a real 3D table, and they had all the pieces. But again, where it's still in prototype form, the rules are not in the computer. You have to move the piece and put it in the right place and carry out the action as you would as if you were sat at a table, because it's not automatic. Like in, say, Board Game Arena, where you click on something and it goes, "It's not your turn." You click on something, you can't put that there.
Well, I think we've kind of thoroughly explained or explored this. There's probably a lot more to talk about, but the show's getting long. So, Josiah, is there anything else that you'd like to communicate about what you're doing in the hobby or anything else?
Not specifically. I don't think so. You know, I really enjoy playing board games, and
he doesn't want to promote you in any way.
Well, You'll definitely check us out, Board Game Theater, if you haven't already, because we're awesome, I will say.
And humble.
Yes.
And splendid.
Well, Josiah, thank you so much for coming on the show with us. I'm so proud of you, and I'm just so glad that you were able to come and tell us some of your thoughts and contribute to the show. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
thank you for having me. So.
All right. Well, just as we end the show here, I want to just remind everybody again about our inserts galore. Can I buy a vowel? Our inserts galore contest that we're going to be doing. It's a giveaway where you're going to be able to have the opportunity to win several inserts for some great companies. Robert Searing, Insert Here, and Daedalus Productions, The Broken Token, Game Trays, and Meeple Realty. Some fantastic companies doing great things. But I really want you also to take a look at some of our podcasting friends. We have such great friends in the hobby. And Rob and Patrick have become good friends of ours, from Blue Peg, Pink Peg, and Jeremy and Christina. And I hope to meet them at Origins, actually. I haven't met Christina yet, but Josiah actually got to play Shogun with Rob and Patrick. And so we've gotten to be friends with them. And they just have a fantastic podcast, one of my favorites, must listen to, and they wanted to be a part of this promotion too. So you're going to see entries to go visit their media and the things that they're doing, and also get a chance to win one of these inserts by supporting them. Likewise, Marty and Tony from Rolling Dice and Taking Name, just great Southern gentlemen. No, you have to meet them at BGG Top. And maybe you could get a moon pie if you talk to them. You get a moon pie.
I'm so scared to ask what a moon pie is. I've heard that word so many times, and I'm just...
Well, I've actually gotten moon pies from them, and I like them. So Rolling Dice and Taking Names, just great fun, great insights. They have really good guests on their show. And then, you know, the Dukes of Dice, Sean Ramirez and Alex Goldsmith. I just love these guys. I got to meet them at Dice Tower Con, and then got to meet them again at BGG Con, and then we've had Sean on the show before. Their podcast is just a great podcast, one of my must-listen to. And I would highly recommend you go check them out, too.
Yeah, while you're cutting the lawn.
Exactly. When I'm mowing the lawn and cats are flying out the mower, that's when we do all that. That was last week's show reference. No, anyway, our podcast friends, go visit their sites. Go check out what they're doing and see how they're contributing in this contest. It's going to be really simple, but you're going to get a lot of opportunity to get one of these great inserts. I hope you enjoy the video. It's live on YouTube right now. You can just go to Board Game Theater on YouTube, or you can go right to our website at boardgametheater.com. The Rafflecopter app, which will house the contest, will be live shortly. We hope to have all that together today or tomorrow, and you'll be able to get that Rafflecopter app through our other podcast friends that we just mentioned as well. And basically with that, just keep listening. Check us out on iTunes. You can check us out on Stitcher Radio. And we'd love to have you join in on our Board Game Guild, which is, the Board Game Guild is 2248. Love to interact with you, hear your thoughts about the show, what segments you like best. And with that, Barry?
I'd like to say something as well.
Yeah.
I'd advise you, if you like playing games on your tablet and stuff, there's this game called Quazoo, Quazoo. My friend made it. It is Connect 4 with squares with gravity. Check it out if you're interested in those three elements mixed together into a two-player game. Ooh. Ooh.
I like that.
Yeah, so go check it out. And so we will say goodbye. Thank you very much, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us.
We're so glad we had this time together. It Now it's time to go. It won't be long until we have another show.
That's a Dukes of Dice t-shirt.
So keep us in mind, get online. Burky and Badger will be back.
No time for picture. Yeah, pizza. Bring me pizza.